myself again. But it's the only...
Good evening and welcome to NUFC Matters. It is Monday night and it is ladies' night, and it's always a chance to look back on the weekend's exciting game that Newcastle United have just played. And wow, did we have an absolute classic that I actually missed. Did manage to catch up on Match of the Day, but we're going to look at that and other things in the news about Newcastle United with Katie, with Sav and Kendall. Good evening, ladies.
Hi.
Good to see you all, and Christmas week. So I suppose the first question I've got to ask is, are you all prepared for Christmas? Katie, are you running around doing last minute shopping, or are you well organised and ready to go?
Well, I started Christmas shopping in April, and then I stopped, and then I started again in September, and then now I've bought loads of stuff, but I don't know what I've bought, if I've still got things to get, and for the past week I've been doing, right, tonight I'm going to put everything out, I'm going to sort it all out, and I've done fuck all. So I don't have a fucking clue if I'm ready for Christmas or not.
Classic.
I might be, but I don't know. If not, I'm going to be running around my house looking for gifts to give people that are like not being used. So who knows? We'll just try and blag it if not.
Okay, I think we might end up talking about this all night because the game is probably not worth talking about. Sav, are you more organised than Katie?
No, I put on Twitter actually earlier. I had my Christmas food shop come in today, so I've sat and waited in for it all morning. It hadn't turned up, so I said, I'm just going to check. Actually, they sent me a text message this morning saying something. I didn't bother reading it, and I'd had it delivered on a click and collect 4 hours away from where I live to where I used to live. So I've spent my whole afternoon trying to sort that out because I had no Christmas food. I had to do an emergency dash along the road to the supermarket. It was like supermarket sweep. Everything was going in. And now I've got like 5 tins of sweets. And I'm like, why am I buying 5 tins of sweets? I don't know. This is why I ordered it in, but it all went wrong. And it's going to take them 2 weeks to refund me as well, which is just a joke.
Can I just say as well, congratulations to you, Sav. It was a brave thing to do, getting involved with the Troll documentary, which is now live on the channel. I know you've watched it. For those people who haven't watched it, is it worth watching? Do you think? Did we waste our time doing it, or do you think it's been well worth doing and people have got the message? Because I think the social media feedback has been absolutely superb.
Yeah, it's this subject that really does need, it needs to be talked about because some people don't see it on social media, and I had a couple of people saying to me today, I didn't even realise any of that was going on. So yeah, it's really good to talk about it, and people who are going through it, because when it first started happening to me, I felt like I was the only one, but you're not the only one, and it should stop, and then something needs to be done. People need to change their attitudes because the world's toxic enough without all that on social media.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, listen, I think it was great. I just thought the way you put yourself across, the way that you the way that you answered the questions, the way you were prepared, I think it was great. And I think ultimately, the feedback tells us that it was good. But thanks for doing it, Sav. Much appreciated. Kendall, Christmas shopping, are you ahead of the game? You've got your tinsel in your hair. You're probably been belting out Mariah Carey as you're walking around the house looking after the Ben. You must be ready.
I'm normally not, I'm normally the one who's wait before Christmas to do everything, but this year I was like, no, I've got nothing else to do because clearly the world is boring, so I've got nothing else to do, so I'm going to just do my Christmas shopping early, got it all out of the way, I'm wrapped, everything's under the tree apart from obviously the Burns presents because she thinks Santa's delivering them on Christmas Eve. Everything's wrapped, lovely. I love doing people's wrapping. I think wrapping. I think I might start doing people's wrapping and charging it if I don't get a job soon. But so I'm pretty much sorted. I'm done, me. But I do everyone else's shopping for them as well. I do my brothers. I do my granddad's shopping. I do everyone's shopping for them, and then I just wrap it, and they just give us the money. So.
Do you do the whole mince pie and milk thing for the Ben? Do you do the elf on the shelf?
Yeah, that elf on the shelf had my head blagged. Literally, I can't deal with it. I get into bed at 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, oh, right, this is so comfy. I'm going to go to sleep. I'm like, shit, the elf. And I have to get out of bed and go and do something bloody stupid to the elf. Oh, honestly, I'm sick of it. Can't wait to see the back of it. It's getting quick. It's not coming back next year.
That's the thing with kids. It's the magic of it. And my kids now don't believe. So, unfortunately, that's disappeared from my house. And Christmas is just all about the turkey and the Queen's speech for me, I'm
It's
afraid.
like,
So,
I don't want Santa to get all the blooming like credit for the presents. I want to be like, I bought them. Like, I bought the presents. Like, so I've said to her, like, I bought the presents, but I'm giving them to Santa so he can deliver them. And she's like, okay.
oh, bless.
She doesn't really care, but I'm like, I want you to know that I bought them, not bloody some fake bloke somewhere else.
Well, I'm sure Santa will spoil her rotten, and I'm sure it's going to be a happy household over Christmas for you. So we've put it off long enough, Katie. I bet you're in a right fettle with Steve Bruce and his latest Christmas delivery. Because that, by all accounts, the match of the day highlights were bad enough. I don't know what it was like for the poor match day team who had to cope without me watching the match live. Well, I tuned in towards the end after work in London, and just to tune in to Pete doing a Katie. He was foaming. So I'm sure, by the sounds of it and by reading the reports, it wasn't a feast of football, Katie.
It was fucking shit. It was absolutely shit. It was pointless. I just wasted my time watching it. Again, another match that was just shit. It was boring. It was dull. It was predictable. It was full of wank. It was just another poor performance from a really uninspired, unpassionate, frustrating football team. Again, the same shit every fucking week. Well, one positive, I suppose, is that we've got someone who can flag pens, which we've never had before. That's my only positive from the actual match. The rest of it was just boring. It was pointless. I was sat doing eBay receipts, and it was more entertaining doing freaking eBay receipts than watching the footy. It was just dull. If that ball never hit Richie's face, then it would have probably been 0-0, I reckon. And it just would have stayed there. And I'm not being funny. I completely forgot that we were playing against 10 men, because we didn't act like we were playing against 10 men at all. We should have been able to break them down, and they were Fulham. Man, what? What the hell is that? We literally did nothing whatsoever. And he did his usual shitty fucking substitutes far too late. Should have brought them in earlier. Could have got a bit more intensity. But no, let's just wait because it's fine. Only Fulham. Who gives a fuck? I'm absolutely shitting myself now for tomorrow. No, absolute wank. That's it. Sorry.
Get in, Katie. I've missed you.
It was just shit though. You were fucking lucky that you never watched it.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating to watch it.
Yeah.
Wank.
Darren says he's seen football under Osvaldo Aldiles, Steve Wally with the Brolly and Souness, but Saturday's game was the worst I have seen for a long time. Bruce out. So, yes, it would seem that Darren agrees with you. Sav, any positives?
Well, we're lucky. I suppose that's a slight positive. I nearly fell asleep in the first half. I was so bored. And then obviously, Matt Ritchie had his own goal, which was more funny to watch, and probably about the highlight of the match was seeing him get smacked in the face by the ball. But no, it's the same shit all the time. And I didn't watch it, but I heard Steve Bruce said that we had moments where we played really well in that match. And I'd like to see where those moments were, because I must have missed them. Or maybe I did actually drift off to sleep and I woke up after they had been done. But no, we were really, really lucky to get away with a point. I'd take it. Did we deserve it? Absolutely not. But I don't know. It's really hard to watch it. And like Katie said, tomorrow night, I'm not even hopeful for tomorrow night. And how bad is that? It's Brentford. But yeah, awful. You were lucky that you missed it.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Kendall, it does sound like it was a bit of a boring match with very little chances for Newcastle United apart from the penalty.
It was atrocious. Like, honestly, how many times are we going to have to say this season that was the worst half of football I've seen? Because I've said it about 6 times this season alone. Like, that was the worst thing. But that was something else. Like, My God, my granddad was like, "Oh, here, you may as well just go home because there's just literally no point." And I said, as soon as like we scored the own goal, I said, "Look, if they score again, I am going home, and I cannot be arsed watching it. It's just boring. Like, what is the point? I'm literally wasting an hour and a half of like nigh on 2 hours of me life doing now. I could just be sitting in the bath. That's what I'd rather do, to be honest, than watch that absolute mess. Like." And as well, like, everyone's kicking off on social media. Like, I literally was on Twitter at 4 o'clock in the morning arguing with for some reason, a Chelsea fan over the whole penalty. Like, why was I arguing with a Chelsea fan over it? Like, it was so dumb. And everyone was like calling Callum Wilson diving scum and that. And I was like, I could sit on it. I was literally 4 o'clock in the morning. I was arguing with people over that because they said he was diving scum and that he should be nowhere near the England squad because he dives. I was like, I've never in my life seen Callum Wilson dive. Never in my life seen it. I must admit, I don't know what anyone else thinks on this. This is my say. I think he made the most of it. I do think there was contact, and I do think there was a shirt pull, like just outside of the box. I don't think it was a dive. But he did make the most of it. And at the very least, it was a red card because he'd already been yellow carded. Jacob Anderson had already had a yellow card, and it was a shirt pull and a clear goal scoring opportunity. So at the very least, it was a red card anyway. There's no point in Scott Parker sitting there whinging his little face off saying, oh, like, cheating and I don't agree with the decisions and that. Shut up, man. Literally every decision pretty much, like, went the way it should have. So I'll just argue about that all day. Like.
I guess the only positive is none of us had to pay to watch it in the house. Other than that, I really cannot say a great deal more, and I think we'll just move on hastily from that game and leave it in the dark and distant past. So, Katie, today, have we had an answer to the ASM story, or is this just clouding the waters? Steve Bruce's press conference seemed to suggest, maybe it's a cover-up, and lots of speculation online that, that the players have had a bust-up with Steve Bruce. Now we see that ASM has come out, he's in France, and, he's now apparently the victim of long COVID, as is Jamal Lascelles. Are the club telling the truth, or is this a hastily arranged PR stunt to try and calm the waters? I mean, what's your feeling?
I don't know. You don't come out with, like, shit breaking down out of nowhere. Shut up.
Sorry, I just saw that. There was just a comment that came up. It was like, teams play for their manager's personality. Newcastle play like a wet fart, and it just makes me laugh.
Yeah. Monday night's crowd tend to wind you lot up, don't they? You know what I mean?
Because they know that if I say something, I'll laugh, and then it just bankrolls from there, man.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to read it.
Let's try and be sensible and behave ourselves.
Same as you.
What?
So,
What are you talking about? Anyway, back to the subject in matter. What was the question?
I'm just asking what you think about ASM and Jamal Lascelles. Is this? It just seemed a little bit contrived today. We've had absolute nothing. We've had no comment. We've had absolute silence. And then we have Steve Bruce saying one thing at the press conference. Then we have ASM doing an Insta Live saying that there's no problem with Steve Bruce. And there seems to be too much smoke without fire around this story for me. He was booked onto the Crystal Palace flight. He didn't get on it. Why was he booked on if he had COVID? You don't just find out you've got COVID 15 minutes before you get on the plane. I just find the whole...
to France if you've got COVID.
And why do you go to France? Now, that's another thing. Someone brought that up in the chat a bit earlier. Have Newcastle broke the law? Has he broke the law by getting on a plane and going to France when he had COVID? Probably.
That's probably why they haven't said anything, because they don't want people to know that he was in France with coronavirus.
Doesn't this
Good
mean
point.
that he's stuck there because you can't actually come back from France now?
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, good point.
Until February.
Unless he can swim the channel. Cover himself in like lard, like David Williams did.
No, I think something's happened. I do think something's happened. Do I think that it is a case that they don't have COVID? They probably do, because every fucker else seems to have it. They may have long COVID. They may just be saying that they have long COVID. Who knows? But something definitely has happened. There's never smoke without fire, or fire without smoke, or whatever way it goes. I don't really give a shit. But something definitely has happened, and Lascelles put something as well on Twitter the other day that basically was like, he realises that he needs to use his position a little bit better. And then I've not really seen him do anything using his position a little better. So I may have took that a little bit, the fact that listening to the fans and going off and picking up about the way that they are playing, because you go onto social media and the first thing that you see is that the fans are pissed off, and they're pissed off with the players and Ashley and obviously Bruce, because we're pissed off with the frustrating football that we're watching. Yeah, fair enough, we might be in a decent position if you look at where we are, but it's fucking crap. So I do think something's happened. I don't think we'll ever find out what's happened, because we are the worst club for communication whatsoever. I mean, like, it's still not confirmed who exactly had COVID, because now everyone keeps on going, oh, they had it. As far as I know, the whole fucking squad's had it. So I do think something's happened. I don't think we'll ever find out what it is. But I think it's probably come more from Jamal than it has from Maxi. I said a few weeks ago that I think Maxi will have kicked off a little bit as well. He doesn't get placed in that free position that he likes to play, because he just didn't make anything of it. But we're fucked now, because he's stuck in fucking France. So great.
Zut alors! That's about the. That's another one of those phrases I got from Tricolore French when I was at school many decades ago.
What's the other one? Sacre bleu.
Sacre bleu and that's the other one I learned.
I just have Jamal a la tête. I've got a headache. Apparently, I think it means I've got a headache. If that doesn't mean I've not got a headache, I've been saying it for like 10 years now and telling everyone that's what it means. So
it probably means
I've... a fraud.
It's probably got a swear word in there. Enculé is your favourite word in French.
What's enculé? It sounds like I want a drink.
Fuck.
Oh, okay. Thanks for telling me that one.
Yeah, definitely. Sav, ASM, what did you make? What did you make of that?
I clearly weren't listening in school, because I didn't know what you was going on about for a second there. I was like, what's happening here?
That's just normal stuff.
French. Well, I've got a different take on it, but I am in a bit of denial over everything. So, in my head, Charles still really happy. He just doesn't look it. But I think that he had COVID and he got long COVID. So he's gone over to France after he's tested negative and he's recovering over there. This is my theory, because I don't think he would, even if paid, if he'd had a bust up with Steve Bruce, do an Insta Live and say, I love Steve Bruce. I wouldn't say it. I just found that really weird. I don't know, because of all the rumours that have been flying about, maybe the club's been pressurised to come out about Lascelles and ASM, and ASM's felt pressurised to come out and say something so that the rumour mill just stops flying around. I think if he was that pissed off, why would he go to the effort of doing an Insta Live and saying, oh, I really love the club, I really love Steve Bruce? That just, to me, doesn't make sense. So I think that that's probably, in my head, what has happened if you're thinking about it sort of logically. It may be something else, but I hope that's what it actually is, because that would make more sense to me. But I just don't see why he would do that if he was that unhappy that he wasn't playing for us and gone over to France and gone AWOL.
Yeah, it's a strange thing to say. I love Steve Bruce. For anybody to say that, really, it is. Maybe he's on maybe he's on the wine in France. He's next to a vineyard or something out there. But yeah, it was a strange thing to say. Kendall, with these kind of things at football clubs, if there is problems, if there is a bust up, these things tend to stay in the dressing room, don't they? We don't tend to hear about them. But again, Katie said it, Sav said it, there's no smoke without fire, and probably the club will be hoping that this puts it to bed, but it just seems to have made it worse, and there's more speculation on social media now.
I think everything's probably happened at once. So I think they've probably had a fallout as well as finding out that they've got COVID on top, probably within a few days of each other. So obviously it's all just spiraled out of control. I do think that the club today, obviously the media side of it, will have probably seen everyone's issues that on social media. I know I've said it a couple of times, like, just tell us what's happening. Like, there's no point in all the games. There's no reason why Steve Bruce should come in a press conference, be asked about him, ASM in specifics, and then him just to say, no, he's not available for tomorrow. He didn't offer any more information. I think that after all us as like Newcastle fans have been through with club communication this year and lack of club communication, like, I think, you know, we deserve to know. And then obviously Steve had said that, well, not Steve, but the club had said that it was up to players to tell everyone about their own availability, which I thought was a very odd thing to say. Like, why would it be up to the player to come on social media and say, sorry, I've got coronavirus? Like, that shouldn't really be their job. Like, that the club should be communicating that to the fans. Unless they want to do that and they want to be more transparent and, you know, take it on board themselves, that's fair enough. But it just seems like a very strange thing to say, that it's up to the players. I personally think the reason that they're probably haven't mentioned anything is because they probably have allowed St. Maximin to go to France, maybe, you know, under a guise, or maybe he did test negative and go to recover there. I don't know, but that just seems strange, because surely if you were really that unwell and recovering from COVID, you wouldn't be, the last thing you'd be thinking of is travelling anywhere. So I just think it's all just very, very odd to me. Like, and as Katie said, I don't think we'll ever find truly out what happened in reality. But this whole speculation is not good for us, and you know what the fan base is like. We speculate over every single thing. Look at the bread. So you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't help. So it doesn't help us that we we love a little bit of a conspiracy and a bit of a rumour. So
no, I think you're right. Yeah, that is true, and we do tend to get really excited over bread, which is a bit bizarre. Okay, Keith Rolls asked a question. How confident, girls, are you that Newcastle can get a result against Brentford? I think he means Tuesday night. Which Brentford players are you most worried about, Katie? Do you know any Brentford players?
No, I don't know any Brentford players at all. But I will tell you, I'm worried about all of them. Because it just seems now that we're in this whole... I know that where seems to be in this position now where I'm worried about anyone coming to St James's Park, actually, and us going to anywhere. You'd have games where I'd feel confident, like comfortable, we'll definitely get something from there. But when you're watching the football, when you're watching the fact that the changes don't happen until we're too late, when you notice the fact, like, I know I'm going back to the game yesterday, but we could have, when they went down to 10 men, why didn't he move Hayden more into centre midfield? Why didn't we do those tactics and stuff like that and push forward? We're not doing that on any game. So I'm pretty confident that anyone can come at us because we don't push the ball forward. So we don't push the ball forward, then we lose confidence if we drop one down. So it doesn't matter who's coming to us. I'm nervous of playing anybody at the moment because we've not had any form of consistency of playing well, because we have just been lucky fuckers in everything that's happening and to get to the stage that we're at and the points that we're at the moment. So I am not looking forward to Brentford at all.
Okay, simple. Yeah, simple and to the point as always. Sav, are you looking forward to Brentford?
No, I don't think I look forward to watching us play at all now. Although when we didn't play for those 2 weeks, I was like, oh, actually, I quite miss watching that boring crap. But no, after the weekend, I'm not looking forward to just watching the same shit, which I'm sure will churn out tomorrow night. I can't see us winning at the moment. We're not even favourites of the bookies, which is just a joke because, you know, on paper, we should be beating Brentford. But, you know, watching our style of play and how we set up, Steve Bruce was doing his press conference this morning. He made sure to tell everyone how amazing Brentford were and how it's going to be such a hard job for us and the usual spiel. So we're now all conditioned to accept that if we lose, it's all right because they were great. But yeah, it's annoying because you'd like to think that we would actually go out and try it, but I'm not sure that we will tomorrow. And also, people that were left on the bench at the weekend, like Hendrick, Lewis, I've got a funny feeling he saved them for tomorrow, the likes of those, which already those players haven't been in amazing form. So yeah, it just fills me with worry. To be fair, I'll still watch it and just complain about it like we do all the time.
Yeah, okay, Kendall, what's your take on the Brentford game tomorrow? Quarter-final of the Cup, Carabao Cup. We should all be excited and looking forward to it and hoping that we get an early Christmas present. Seems to be a lot of animosity, anxiety, and doubt that we can even get through, and that's just from Steve Bruce.
Yeah, but as usual, he always sets us up for failure. Like, that's what he does. Like, that's just his, like, what's the word? Like, that's just his brand. Like, he'll say they're such a good team, then he's got an excuse post-match as to why we lost. Like, that's just what he does.
Team failure.
Yes, like, he's such a defeatist. Like, why is he so pessimistic? Like, I mean, I'm pessimistic, but I'm not a football manager, so I'm allowed. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, Brentford worry me. Like, I love their manager Thomas Paul. He's brilliant. He plays a expansive modern football. I really, really like it. They did so well. They were really unlucky not to come up last year, in my opinion. Like, obviously the only good thing is that they've got rid of a couple of their really, really good players. So like Ollie Watkins obviously went to Villa, and Ben Rama, did he go to Villa as well? Anyways, yeah, they got rid of a couple of their like really decent players. However, they have got obviously ex-Newcastle, not, I wouldn't say legend or whatever, but yeah, obviously ex-Newcastle, who's now their top goal scorer in Ivan Toney. So that's probably nailed on. Is he allowed to play against us? I don't know.
I think so, yeah. I don't think there's any issues with that. I think a lot of people are expecting to come back and haunt us.
Yeah, they probably will. It's usually the case. So yeah, that's nailed on from the score. He's smashing it in the Championship for them at the moment. So I'm not looking forward to it at all, I must admit. And realistically, on paper, out of the other ties we could have had in the quarterfinals, this would be the one that you wanted, really. Like, if you looked at it. But to be honest, we were the team everyone wanted. No one else wanted anyone else. They wanted us. We think, yes, please be Newcastle, like, because then they would just easy route to the semis. Like, that's just how it is. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a really, really, really tough watch tomorrow because the brands of football are completely different.
Yeah. Great to see Steve Bruce on the chat, entertaining the masses. Thanks for that, mate. He says he wants Mike Ashley to back him in the transfer window.
Imagine if
Katie.
it was actually him, though. How funny would that actually be?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Katie, will Mike Ashley back Steve Bruce in the transfer window? Can you give Steve some optimism here?
I reckon he'll definitely back him, but Steve will do fuck all anyway, so what's the point? I am expecting Matty Longstaff to go. I'm expecting to go on a loan. I don't expect anything really to happen at all in January. There's too many holes that need to be filled. I just don't think it's going to happen. Everyone can hate you. It's easy. You play football. Not turning into a rich one. He's a lovely guy. He's an absolutely lovely guy. He's just in the wrong job. We all know someone. We've all worked with someone who's in the wrong job. But that's all he is. Simple as. Just go to another team. No, I can't see it being an exciting transfer window. And even if we do get someone in, I don't see it changing anything anyway. And I just think we're going to be stuck like this until what we're going to do? We're going to be stuck like this until we are going to hit that bottom of the table soon because everyone's going to clap upon points. So are we going to be stuck like this until we start to change things when we're in the relegation zone, when it's too late, or when Ashley actually manages to fuck off? Probably when Ashley fucks off. But I can't see him giving him support. And if he does give him any form of support, it's not going to be very much, is it? If we're going to be honest. It's not going to be very much, and it's not going to be anything which is going to essentially change the team. So,
takeover update from Baz Dost. He's just eaten some bread and some smoked cheese. There'll be some people going into an absolute meltdown about that.
I really
Sav,
want some bread now. Like, I really want bread.
So you said smoked cheese because that means a smoke. There's no smoke without fire. Oh.
Aye, and when the Pope gets announced, smoke comes out of the top of the Vatican, so that's usually a sign which could mean the takeover.
Like black and white. Oh my god.
See, now that'll be all up. What, when the Pope's announced? Yeah. They have like a little chimney at the top, and when they've announced it, when they've decided amongst themselves who the Pope is, the smoke rises, and they know that the new Pope has been crowned or whatever he's given the, you know, whatever the title is anyway. But yeah, that's true.
Taking a
Yeah.
piss?
No, interesting fact.
Really? How do you not know that?
A bit of Wraith trivia. A bit of Wraith religious trivia.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sure.
Mike's-
Sure that
I
gives
want
it all.
EastEnders, not the Pope.
But it only happens once in the. It only happens when he dies. It only happens when the new Pope takes over, so it's no surprise. Sav, I'm sure we'll be talking about this in January 2021. My God, I can't wait to get away from 2020. But yeah, I mean, just it's a question we've been asked: is Mike Ashley likely to back Steve Bruce? You know, or would he just go and pour some money down a drain?
I think, like Katie, I think he will back him, but Steve Bruce will do fuck all about it because I don't think he has a clue what's going on. And that's not a witch hunt, because I agree. I think he's a nice person, but I just don't think he's in the right job. Yeah, I can't see. I think we're going to have players leaving. I think Shah might be going, which is going to make me really sad. I'm going to need a period of mourning for that. You know, respect my.
She's just going to wear black for like the rest of
Yeah,
January.
set up with a black veil.
Come on
over
with
my-
like a veil gown.
I think we're going to have players leaving. I can't see us getting anyone exciting, like Kate said, that's going to change the team. It's the problem because you just come to expect the pure minimum of everything with the club at the moment, especially if Steve Bruce is in charge. I don't think he really has an idea what he needs to do to our squad to change it, and that's half the issue. But yeah, I'm sort of dreading it because of, you know, I think we're probably going to lose more players than we're going to gain in the transfer window in January.
It's always hard as well in January because everyone always ups the prices. It's like we go to January sales and they're like, you want him, you can fucking pay quite a few mil more. So we're fucked, basically.
Yeah, I would agree. Kendall, do you agree? I mean, I can't really see a vast amount of money being given to Steve Bruce anyway, and I just don't think Mike Ashley would trust him either. You know, and especially if he's hoping that there's going to be a takeover on the horizon, I just can't see any investment.
No, I think it'll be a couple of loans in and out. I think it'll be one in, one out if that's the case. I do probably agree with Katie. I think that Matty will be going out on probably to a championship team on loan. I can see that happening. And then we will probably... The only person I can see us getting is Willems, either at minimal cost or on a free. I'm not sure in terms of his contract what that would mean, but I know he's obviously rejected a new contract with Frankfurt, so and he's been putting some very here we go again with the cryptic messages, with these little cryptic eyeball messages and that on Twitter. So I think he's the only person I can possibly see us getting in. I really, really don't see us getting anyone else at all. You know, none of the players that Steve Bruce typically would love, like from Phil Jones or Rob Holden or whatever. You know, Arsenal are a sinking ship at the minute. They're not going to let like Rob Holden go. I mean, not that I want him, like, but that's just such a Steve Bruce transfer. So yeah, I can't see much happening. And as you say, with everything, if this takeover is still going ahead or going on in the background, then I can't see much happening. So, you know, we've got another long 5 months of this wonderful, joyous football, and I just cannot wait to watch this. I know. At the end of the season, when I'm literally crying my eyes out and I've got wrinkles on my eyes and like pure bags that could carry like 300 kilograms because I'm so depressed with the football.
Big shout out to the sponsors, newworkwear.com, specialists in the supply and branding of clothing for the workplace, who sponsored the StreamYard application again this month. Big thank you to them. And acutexshop.co.uk, makers of pool tables and snooker tables in the northeast of England in Newcastle, Wallsend. They also make the food bank calendars, which we are donating the proceedings to the food bank, and you can get them from newcastlelegends.com, as well as our rather snazzy t-shirts, which have done very well, and again from newcastlelegends.com. I do want to say thank you to Paul Foster, who sent me a couple of pictures today from Neil Robson's funeral. Massively well attended today despite COVID. Lots of people paying their respects in different ways. Big turnout from the Newcastle United community, all socially distant, all at the crematorium, paying their respects to Neil, who was a good friend of mine and somebody who I spent a lot of time on the road with, going to various away games over the years from an early age. So God bless Paul, may he rest in peace. And I hope the family try and enjoy their Christmas as best they can. But thanks for those pictures, Paul. Much appreciated. I know he's just messaged in as well. Brilliant send off today. Thanks, Paul. Thanks very much for doing that. Tom Dixon's asking, will he give Andy Carroll a game tomorrow night, Katie?
Audio's gone.
Audio's gone. Mine has.
Mine's all right.
Mine's all right.
All right, her audio's gone. Okay, Sav, I'll come to you then. Would you give Andy Carroll a game tomorrow night?
Well, personally, I wouldn't, but I think he'll probably get one. He was on the bench at the weekend. He's been rested, so I think he will probably get a go tomorrow night. To be fair, I wouldn't. I mean, when was the last time he banged in a goal? It's been like forever. The good thing is he's at getting in the air and like knocking out players and stuff, but. No, I don't. I wouldn't, but I think he would, personally.
Okay, Fungo, I'll answer you because this will get missed. The documentary's on the channel. It just wasn't set as a premiere. We had to wait until Frank Turner gave us permission to use his music in the documentary, which he kindly did. We had to skip through a few legal things with that, but it is on the channel. If you just search "Think Before You Tweet," look down the videos, the recently uploaded videos. You will find 2 hours of the documentary on there. Katie, are you back?
Yeah, I got that little message now about the iOS thing.
Yeah.
Smart.
Well, there we go.
I'll
So
check it afterwards.
Okay, well, the question is, Andy Carroll, do you think he will get a start tomorrow night? And would you play Andy Carroll tomorrow night?
I would have played him against Leeds.
Right.
I would have played him against Leeds because Leeds are shit in the air. So I would have played him against Leeds. No. Yeah. No. Right. We're getting to a point now where we need to rest Wilson. Otherwise, these games are coming in so much close proximity. If he gets injured, we're fucked. So we're going to get to a point where we're going to have to rest him. But is it a case of the fact that we should rest him for the cup? I would play Gale. I don't know whether Gale's starting later and not starting at all due to his previous injury or what. But I would definitely play him. I don't know. No, I'd play Gale and Wilson. No, I wouldn't. Yeah, no, I don't know. This is why Steve's so crappy. Obviously, he's so like he's like me. He doesn't know which way to pick. No. Yes, no. I'm going for no. I'd start Gale and Joe Linton because he seems to be better with that kind of side. And then I'd maybe bring Carroll on in the second half. I'd rest Wilson completely though. I'm not really arsed about the cup if it means that we potentially could end up losing him for more games if he goes down the injury route. Obviously, it would be nice to get through the cup. It would be nice to win the cup, but I'd rather have a striker that's not going to get injured. So I'd go for Joe Linton and Gale, and then I'd probably bring Carroll on about 60th minute.
Okay.
But we don't do that. We bring subs on at the 80th minute because that's what we do. Unless we're forced like we were at the weekend.
Kendall, Andy Carroll, I'm not keen on playing him tomorrow night. I've got to be perfectly honest, unless he's 100% fit, and that's never the case. I would probably go with Katie and play Joe Linton and Gale if we're going to rest Wilson. But I mean, would you play Andy Carroll?
No. So, the thing is though, the thing we want Bruce to do and the thing that Bruce does is to the two opposite ends of the spectrum. So we will be like, please don't play Carroll, play Joe Linton. As Katie said, he shows he's a little bit of more ability when he plays lower opposition. Gale deserves a chance. We can rest Wilson for now. We desperately need him for the league because we don't obviously want to be in a relegation battle, which the way things look at the moment, and we're as equally off the top as we are close to the bottom half. So we'll just rest Wilson. Joe Linton and Gale will be all right in my opinion. I can't believe I'm actually advocating for Joe Linton to start, which is mental. But yeah, he probably will play Carroll just because that's just what he does, and he likes to do the opposite to what everyone else wants him to do or what he should do. He'd probably go in with the mindset that, because he is so transparent in his decisions, that, Brentford are a championship side, we can rest a few players and we don't have to play certain players, but then it'll just come back to bite us on the arse. I just hope he's done his research, and I hope that he understands Brentford are a decent side and they have a lot of attack and threat. So I really, really hope he knows that, because, in the past he's made them mistakes. So we'll see. He might surprise us again as he did with the formation against whoever we were playing, and Everton and Wolves, and it came off better for us, but you never know.
What? Yeah, you actually think that you may have done some form of research?
I'm saying I hope, because that's a very big hope. That's a very, he obviously hasn't, but I'm just hoping that there's 1% chance that he's done something.
Well, he's done something because he told us today how great Brentford are, so he's obviously looked into them.
Yeah, what is it?
It tells us everyone's great, doesn't he, though? It says, Sheffield United, they really good.
Everyone's great. At least he's right about that, because we aren't great. We're not even good.
I mean, nobody in their right mind, Sav, does that, do they? In any work, not football, no sport. You don't go into work if you're standing in front of, say, 10 people in a team of call centre operators and go in and say, well, they're so much better than us, so just do your best. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Do you know what? It drives me round the bend. And this morning I was literally trolling the NUFC. I don't know, we got to think forward to it, with Bruce's, what he was bloody saying, because it really gets on my nerves. No wonder we go out there and look fucking miserable and play like shit and look like we don't even know what we're doing when we've got a manager that every week on week goes, oh, our opponents are great, we're going to have a real tough job. And it's the same thing. I think he's got the same script every week. Would it hurt him just for once to big up our players just a little bit, just to instill some confidence in them? Because his vibe is so negative. And after I've seen what he's said on Twitter in his press conferences, I think, right, well, we're going to go and play shit and we're going to lose again, because that's immediately what it makes you think. It doesn't give you any form of confidence. And yeah, I do think that is half of the problem, is the fact that he's not confident in our players. So why would they be confident if they've got a manager that's got that sort of attitude? It's so infuriating. I get that he says we're a work in progress or whatever, but you can say something positive sometimes. And but he's just set us up to lose, in my opinion, this morning with his press conference. There was nothing new than what he normally says. He'll say the same thing at the weekend when we play again. It's just really infuriating.
Yeah, I mean, it does drive everybody up the wall, Katie, doesn't it? I mean, we've already mentioned it on the show, but, going into a game, and he clearly says it to the players as well, maybe, but if he doesn't, the players hear it on these press conferences. It's crazy, isn't it? It sets you on a negative path before you've even started.
Yeah, I think he's too much of a people pleaser. He wants to be the nice guy. And that's reflected in the way that the players, you can see that the players do really like him. They run over to him when they score a goal. They support him through pretty much all of his decisions that he makes. And I think that's just the way that he is. He is one of those people that wants to be liked, and he wants them to almost feel nurtured. And we're that kind of squad that needs somebody who's going to bollock you. And we don't get that from Ashley. Ashley is not asked if we don't win. He's asked about money. Ashley should be all over the coaching staff and Bruce because they're not performing. and that should filter down into the team, and it doesn't ever do that. And I think it is the way that he just goes about it. You will come across people where they will just be like, oh, we tried our best, we'll just have to try again, don't worry about it, and stuff like that. And I don't think he'll ever change, and I think that's where he's been pretty much at every single club that he's been at, and that is literally just the way that it is. That comment, by the way, that comment about, are you actually a supporter if you don't want the cup? If that was about what I said, it's because I'd rather have Wilson not injured. Of course, obviously, I want to win a cup and I want to go for a cup, but I'd rather have our main key in our actual team fit, and I know that he needs to be rested. So that was, if that was about me saying that, that's just my response.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, look, we've only got about 15 minutes left, so let's take a few more questions. Dubravka could be fit tomorrow, Kendall. Would you put him in tomorrow night ahead of Darlow? I mean, Darlow hasn't put a foot wrong.
Darlow hasn't put a foot wrong, and as I said, I think it was last week, like when we were on about it, I said it's a very, very, very hard decision that Steve Bruce has got to make when Dubravka comes back, because there's really no, justice for Darlow to be dropped. But again, Dubravka was so clinical and so vital for us last year that last season, that it is a massive tough decision, and we haven't had a conversation about that for quite a while around Newcastle. I mean, I know we've always had pretty all right keepers. It's not really been something that has massively impacted us in the past, but to have two really, really, really strong keepers, I personally wouldn't play Dubravka if he's fit, just because this is a chance at a cup, and this is going to be the closest chance to a cup we've had since we got Man City in the quarterfinals last season. So 2 games away from a final, 2 games away from a cup even, is important to us, and it's important to the fan base when we're going through so much rubbish and negativity at the moment. So I would love to see him attack the game, but as well, the league is important, and if we carry on going the way we are, then the bottom half of the table, the bottom of the bottom half of the table is not far away for us. So yeah, I think I'll just stick with Darlow for now, and if Dubravka's fully fit, maybe in the new year, then go from there. But I don't think Darlow deserves to be dropped, and he has been our saviour in cups a couple of times. So yeah.
Okay, Sab, would you give Dubravka a run out tomorrow night?
I wouldn't, just because he's been out for such a long time. It wouldn't really be wise to throw him in on a quarter-final of a cup. And Darlow has been doing such a solid job for us. He's in good form, so I don't really see. I mean, how long? They didn't even say how long he's been back at training. So, I mean, that's another question as well. So it's a bit weird that suddenly he's ready to start a match. Has that actually been said that he is match fit?
Yeah, it's been suggested that he could be available to play.
Yeah, so no, I wouldn't, just because, as I said, he's been out for a long time. I think he's someone back in gently rather than throwing him into a quarter-final of a cup. And as I said, Darlow's been doing an absolutely solid job for us at the moment, so it makes sense just to keep him there, personally. I think it's a shame, actually, that we've got 2 really, really good keepers, and one of them's going to have to be dropped. We're that position we're sport for choice in, really, with those 2. So it's difficult to say, who deserves it, because, Darlow was really solid for us last season, but then, not Darlow, Dubravka was really solid for us last season, and but then again, Darlow has also, as like Kendall said, Darlow's also been solid. So I wouldn't be able to pick between either of them. I wouldn't have Dubravka back tomorrow, no.
No, and Bruce, he'll play Buddy Gillespie probably.
Do you know what? I did think that.
He's literally chose Gillespie in most of the cup games, hasn't he? So yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, very true. What about you, Katie? Would Dubravka get back into your team tomorrow night?
No. I love Darlow. I love him. Even though he answered my question on Zoom Army and didn't give me any faith in being able to get this shirt. But no, I think he's been spot on, and I think that if it wasn't for him, then we wouldn't be in the position that we're in now. I think that he may play Dubravka though, because he tends to just separate the squad from the Prem. and Dubravka was on some training photos at quite a good few weeks ago. So I have a feeling that he probably will play Dubravka. I wouldn't personally, but we'll just have to see who comes out.
I'm checking NUFC.com just to see if there's any further update on that, but nothing on there as yet. Nicola Dolby seems to think that it might be a bit early and that she has heard different. So we'll wait and see. It's a question at some point that Steve Bruce is going to have to answer. Barry Hogan seems to feel that Darlow isn't in the same class as Dubravka, which is fair enough. Man City, Liverpool, Leicester up next in the Premier League, so it makes sense to prioritise the cup, says Yano. That's a dreadful run of fixtures, Kendall, isn't it?
It's absolutely horrendous, and really not something we need at this point in the season, especially when Liverpool have just went and beat Crystal Palace 7-0 at the weekend. So that's not looking exciting for us. I mean, City haven't been really doing that bad, so to be honest, it sounds bizarre, but out of them three, they're probably the one I'm least worried about. Obviously, I know we're going to get beat by them all, so it doesn't really bother me that much, to be honest. But they're the ones that I think, it won't be as bad. But saying that, now I've said that, it'll be their return of like the City that won the league, and they'll just smash us all over, and it'll just be game over in like 20 minutes, probably. Now I've said that, but it's horrific. It's a horrific run of fixtures over a time that is like so crucial in the league, and you want to be on your way to safety. It's just absolutely dreadful, especially when the results are going the way they are at the moment.
Yep, okay. Tom likes to wish people a Merry Christmas. He just wants to say all the best to you girls, from Tom, who is a regular watcher of the show each night. I'm sure you'll bid him the same.
Same to you, Tom.
Merry Christmas.
And everyone who's watched us all year and listened to us talk absolute... me, I'm speaking on behalf of me. I sort of talk absolute shite sometimes. So thank you everyone who's watched us all year, because sometimes we can ramble on and we can go off on different tangents, but very grateful to be a part of it.
Never.
But we will be having a Christmas Eve, a little Christmas Eve special with the three amigos. I will be sending the link to everybody who's involved. We'll be doing 1 hour, chance for people to come on and say Merry Christmas, etc. And we have got a little treat for the watchers as well. We've got a little video that we've put together, so I'm sure that. It's a treat. I've seen it. But yeah, we've got a little treat on Christmas Eve for everybody who watches, so I'm sure you will all look forward to that. Those fixtures, Katie, that's going to keep you in swear box money, isn't it? When as those goals go raining in against those three teams.
Those fixtures are just fucking hell. And the worst thing is as well is that it's the perfect opportunity, looking at the other fixtures, the other teams, for them to crawl straight past us and pick up points. And we're not going to pick up any points, and the football's going to be shit, and it's just going to be rubbish, and then everyone's going to be pissed off because it's Christmas and we're playing shit, and then it's just all going to be boring. No, it's just shit, and it's just fucking shit. And then fucking Maxie's going to be in France for the whole lot of it, because he can't get back. Unless he finds his own little boat. We've got no chance of getting him over, are we? So,
Can you imagine him rowing a boat all the way across the channel? I can't, God.
Absolutely brilliant. Sav, what about you? Are you looking forward to those fixtures?
No, they're real pants down fixtures, aren't they? Pants down, bent over. That is going to be... We're going to get a right spanking from those. I can just see it now. It's going to be dreadful. And like Katie said, the teams below us are going to crawl past us, and then we're going to be in a real bad shit situation after that. But yeah, no, I'm not looking forward to it. I will watch it, probably whilst crying and eating crisps and drinking. But no, not drinking, because I'm doing dry January, so I won't be drinking. But I don't know. I'm not looking forward to it. I really wish that we'd actually changed tactics by now, but it's just the same shit. And I wish we just keep hold of the fucking ball. You what?
I wish we just keep hold of the fucking ball.
Oh, I know.
That would be good as a start.
I was watching us the other day, and I can't remember who we were against now, but the other team had the ball, and we were just stood there. We weren't even trying to get it. We were just like watching them pass it around. I'm like, why is no one running at these people? What are you doing? How is Steve Bruce standing there and not saying press on the ball? He obviously quite likes that style of football. But yeah, anyway, I've deviated. No, I'm not looking forward to it at all.
Kendall, there's a lot of your fans wanting to know if you're going to come on and do a Christmas song. I mean, you've obviously got people excited about this. There'll be a Christmas album next year.
Oh, I think not. I think I'll save you all the trouble and bring it out a Christmas album. Maybe I'll do a bit. Maybe I'll just have a drink on Christmas Eve and come on and do a bit of a dinner.
You don't know. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We are doing a live show.
I've had a bit of prosecco, maybe, but otherwise.
We are doing a match day live tomorrow, and as I say, we are going to we'll announce tomorrow what time we're coming on to do the Three Amigos show. But as I say, it'll be me, Steve, and Neil. It'll be doing a show, and we'll just invite everybody else on. So it'll be good. Lots of positivity coming in from everybody who watches. That's great. If you're a first-time watcher, please click the little thing on the screen at the bottom and subscribe. It does help us. It's nice to get subscribers on, and you can watch all of our shows. So just click on the Newcastle Legends button in the bottom right-hand corner and subscribe. Please give it a like. Please drop some comments in as well. I suppose the last question for you girls, what are you doing for Christmas then? Kendall, what are you doing for Christmas apart from spoiling the bairn? Is it, are you going to be able to go anywhere? Are you just having to have it alone? What's happening?
Well, luckily for me, obviously, I'm a single parent household, so I am allowed to mix with, I think it's is it 3 other households possibly? I don't know if they've changed it recently with all the tiers that have come in, but Christmas is normally pretty busy for me because both my parents are remarried, so I've got 2 separate families to go to on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
So normally have me Christmas dinner with Big Ken, my granddad, and then go to my dad's to get me presents there, and then my mum normally comes on mine to open Ama's presents on the morning. But I don't know what's going to happen this year. It's a bit of a nightmare. My mum, bless her, she is a nurse for Marie Curie end of life cancer care, so she's been working really, really hard over the pandemic, and she is actually working over Christmas. So whether or not we'll be able to see her, I don't know, with everything going on. But yeah, she's been a superstar, so hopefully we can see her and spend it with family, because I think after the year we've had, that's all anyone deserves, to be honest.
Yeah, what about you, Katie?
With my sister and my mum and my nieces. My brother lives in Leeds. Normally either they come over or we'd go and see them at some point, but that's not going to happen. So it'll just be that, and it doesn't even feel like Christmas, because obviously I got the puppy this year, and he's literally like the devil. I've not been able to put a Christmas tree up because he eats everything he sees, so it doesn't even feel like it's Christmas whatsoever. So I'm just going to eat and drink and watch shit football. But just before, because I forgot, I got the person who won the ladies' night t-shirt sent it to me just to cheer us up. Now I've got it this week, so I just wanted to say thank you very much, and it's really appreciated. I'll be wearing the girls to bed tonight, so they'll be coming to bed with us, the lucky ladies. So I just want to say thank you for that. It was a very kind gesture, and it definitely hasn't gone unnoticed.
Oh, brilliant. Fantastic. If you want to bid for the Three Amigos Christmas t-shirt, it is still on my Twitter. We'll be announcing that on Christmas Eve, who's won that. So please try and help the food bank. The last one of the year, I think that will be. Just bid. It's a pinned tweet on my Twitter, which is at Steve Wraith. Sav, last but not least, what are you doing for Christmas?
Well, I'm allowed to mix with my parents' house, but I'm not doing that. Because basically I'm just unsociable. They drive me round the bend. Oh my God, last year my dad confiscated my phone. I was just like, it's too much phone time. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that this year. This year I'm going to sit on my phone and I'm going to get really drunk. I'm going to eat loads of food. And then I'm going to watch crap Christmas TV until I pass out on my sofa, and I'll probably wake up the next day and carry on for Boxing Day. I'm gonna have a
and you've got to watch Man City v Newcastle. Woo.
Yeah, I'm going to have a rollover bender, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, because I've got to dry out in January, so I'm going to make the most of it. I'm just basically going to be blackout drunk all Christmas. It's going to be fantastic.
You need to make up for it if you're doing dry January.
I genuinely think that you are in prison. Like, I am now convinced that you are in prison.
I just really enjoy being on my own. It's really, when
Brilliant.
everyone's like, why do you enjoy that? I'm like, it's great. I can play my PlayStation. I live like a teenage boy. Play my PlayStation, get drunk, and then I can eat loads of crap, and I don't have to deal with anyone. I know I have enough of it when I leave the house having to deal with someone. So when I come back, I just want to be on my own. I'm probably just unsociable. I don't know.
Right.
John from QTech says, remember, Sav, dry gin, dry wine and dry roasted nuts are all allowed in dry January.
I remember that. No, I'm really going to do it. Do you know what? I have literally been sitting around drinking all lockdown, and I need, in next year, I was just like, I've got to get healthy. I've got to have a detox. So it's really spurring me on. I've got to stop it, and I've got to, I'm going to be really sensible next year. You're not going to even recognise me anymore. I'm telling you the truth.
That's bollocks. Absolute bollocks there. If you even
What's
if you
fa-
even- 4 days into January, and then you'll be pissed. Put money on it.
Julie's asking what Fabian Shaw's getting there, Sav.
An extra 10 minutes exercise in the garden I'll give him on special days. So, he said he's going to leave, so I'm not letting him go too far.
I'll let Funko Freddy finish off with the comments, Nate. All he wants for Christmas is the bottom three to keep losing. Here, mate. Fully agree with you there. As always, been an absolute pleasure. This will be the last ladies' night of 2020 because we're all having a bit of time off. We've got a load of pre-recorded shows for people to watch, and we will of course be back tomorrow night with Matchday Live. Brentford in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup, and then for a brief festive special on Wednesday, we'll have Christmas Eve fun and frolics with Steve Hasty, Mitch, and myself, and a few people popping in to see us. So, girls, thank you very much. Have a great time. I'm sure I'll be speaking to you on the WhatsApp group at some point. But have a great Christmas, and look forward to teaming up again with you in January 2021. But have a great time, girls.
You too.
See you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Great to have the girls on, and don't forget we are doing our own campaign, which is Think Before You Tweet.